What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? Your boy is back in the country. I went to the Dominican Republic for 3 days. Well, 3 nights. Um, Boy, what an experience! What an experience! I didn't realize how much of a hassle it would be going out of the country these days, like filling out paperwork, filling out applications just to get inside of another country, to exit the country. Just a lot that people may not even know about. Dominican Republic required that you fill out a form to enter and exit. Um, First of all, number one, do your research before you go to any country. Always do your research. I mean, down to the nitty gritty, because it's just, I thought I had did enough research, but obviously I didn't because of the experience I had. Um, I know I went to Puerto Rico a year ago and had a blast. I mean, no problems, no bad experiences, good time. But Puerto Rico is U.S. territory. Dominican Republic, that's the whole country. That's their whole country. So basically, that's not U.S. territories. And I guess I was just comparing it to Puerto Rico, and which was a bad idea. Why, I don't know. I guess that's dumb on me, right? But anyway, to make a long story short, um, I should have followed the signs all along. Um, as soon as I got to the airport, it was just delays. It was just delays that turned into the flight being canceled. Um, if you go on my page, you'll see the video I made. You'll see all the lines, and we waited in line for 3 hours just to be told that we couldn't get on the flight, basically. So I had to wait till the next day to leave. That was a sign right there. Something told me, do not go. Something literally whispered in my ear and said, do not go. Get your money back. Call your bank and get your money back on these flights. Do not go. But me being me, oh, I need a vacation. Oh, I just got to go somewhere. I haven't been nowhere in a while. Been working, tired. Just want to go somewhere and relax, which is normal. So anyway, I ended up making a flight the next morning, going there, excited. Oh man, I got on a flight. I'm excited. So when I get there, first of all, I'm approached with the heat. I know it's hot in Atlanta. I know it's hot in Mississippi, in some of these other places. But that heat down there is different. It's like, woo. So I had on me being dumb again, had on like a hoodie. So I was like taking the hoodie off. It was just bizarre heat. Walking around the airport, lost. Didn't book a transportation. Didn't book a way to get to my resort or anything. Just thinking that I could Uber there, thinking that I, could Uber or Lyft. Come to find out, no. Even though they have Uber or Lyft, but first of all, you got to have Wi-Fi, because if you don't have Wi-Fi, you can't do anything over there. Like, you can't make any calls. You can't do anything, basically, unless you buy a phone over there. Yeah, man, it was just crazy. So finally, a man seen me walking around lost after asking questions to so many people that couldn't give me answers. And he was like, "You look lost. Are you okay? Do you need a ride?" And I was like, "Yeah." At this point, I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. I just need a ride. Where are you going? Okay, I'm going to my resort. I told him the resort. Took me over there to the resort. Actually, he was very helpful. He took me around to get pesos, and he was telling me all the stuff I would need. You need to get pesos. You need to do this. You need to do that. I already knew I need to get pesos, but for some reason, I was going to wait till I got back to the resort to do it, because I had been through hell already. So I was just like, I want to go to the resort, check in. I get the pesos when I'm there. I just want to get to the resort. So he was able to take me around to do the pesos and to just do some things before I went to the resort. Need to run to the store. He was just very helpful. So he took me to the resort, got to the resort, so excited to be there. Got to the room, rested a little. So, I was like, let me go to the beach. I was like, let me go to the beach because by that time it had got late. So I went to the beach. It was kind of dark outside, not too dark, but people were out there hanging out. You know, it's loud and the breeze was good. So I kind of walked around in the resort area of the beach. This guy out the blue. Now this is where it gets interesting. This guy out the blue approaches me, and when he approaches me, he started laughing and talking. I couldn't understand what he was saying because I don't speak English. So I was like, hey, you know, how you doing? You know, and he was like, I know he asked where was I from here or where was I from? And I said, America. I was like, well, you know, he was like, oh, okay. And then he started asking for money. You know, do you happen to have any money? You have money? And I was like, no, I don't have any money. You know, maybe I should have just gave him $100 peso. Who knows? That would have been like $3 or something, you know. Or maybe even I probably should have just gave him 400 pesos and just made him leave and get out of my way. But, you know, here in Atlanta, here in the States, you know, we say no, they leave, they walk away or something like that. He was aggressive. He was like, oh, I want money, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't have any money. So he started laughing and smiling, you know, talking. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying. So I just turned around and walked off. Kid me not. He noticed my phone in my back pocket, like the back part, because I always put my phone in the back, you know, just for convenience. And he looked down and see my phone. Y'all tell me why the man snatched my phone out my pocket and took off running. And he was running kind of at a slower speed that I felt like I could catch him, but because of the sand, I'm falling, trying to like, dude, you got my phone. Why you got my phone for? Why you got my phone? Give me my phone back. Give me my phone. He don't understand what I'm saying because he don't speak English. Dude just took off. He was gone. So by the time I got around, other people had heard me saying, my phone, this guy took my phone. So they started running behind him too. So by the time I get up there to them, it's a whole gang of them out there, you know. I don't know what they saying. They don't know what I'm saying. Finally, somebody speaks English and it's like, he's going to get your phone back. He's going to get your phone back. But do you happen to have any money? Like, we hungry. Can you help us get? And I'm like, dude, I don't care about giving you money right now. I want my phone back. At this point, what money do you need? I just want my phone back. They start gathering around me and talking. And I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. So I start backing up. Because at this point, I ain't trying to get beat up, killed, hurt, out the country. So I start backing up. And this guy had to have been an angel. He had to have been an angel. He was working at the resort, at one of the resorts, and he heard the confusion outside. And he came out and he was just like, he just grabbed me and he was like, come in here, get in here. They're dangerous. He could speak English a little bit. He was like, they're dangerous, get in here. You know, what's wrong? What's happening? At this point, I'm panicking. I'm upset, teary-eyed, everything. Because I'm like, this guy just snatched my phone out of my pocket. I don't know who he is. He came up to me talking. And then when I turned away from him, he snatched my phone and ran. And he was just like, he barely could understand what I was saying. So all I know is that he heard me he understood me saying, call the police, call the police. So he called the police. Once he called the police got there. Do you not know they caught this boy within like 5 minutes of us calling? I don't know. All I know is when I walked outside, they had the boy in the back seat of the truck, of the police truck. And he was, I guess, cussing me out in Spanish or whatever. I don't know. But they had my phone in their hand. So I was like, oh, man, that's my phone. You know, that's my phone. Thank you. That's my phone. That's my phone. He stole it. So they were like, well, let me see your passport. Let me see your, you know, some kind of evidence, something to show that this is your phone. So I showed them the passport. I showed them everything that's needed. Don't you know that these people still wouldn't give me back my phone? Oh, we got to keep your phone because it needs to be under investigation because, you know, you say he stole your phone. Pretty much y'all caught the man. You beat him up. I unlocked the phone. I showed you my pictures. I showed you everything. I showed you my passport. Why do you need to keep my phone at this point? Let me get my phone back and enjoy the rest of my time because I'm minding my business on the beach. I'm approached, phone taken. Y'all like this for a part 2. If you want to hear part 2, like it. Hey guys, what's up? What's up? Happy Sunday to everybody. This is my part 2 of my bad experience in Punta Cana. I did a part 1 already previously. You can go and look on my page for that. But just a quick backstory. I had went to Punta Cana, had a lot of things that happened, went through the airport, delays, cancellations with flights. That was the first sign not to go. Got there. When I got there, the hotel I picked pretty much was not the same as the pictures. Even the videos wasn't the same. So I ended up having to back out of that hotel and find another resort. All this happened within an hour of me being there. When I first landed there, couldn't find transportation, anything. It was just terrible. Most of it is my fault. I should have did more research on arriving to Punta Cana. But a lot of it I do blame them too. But hey, it's all good. But the biggest part about my trip was that my phone was stolen. It wasn't taken, it was stolen out of my pocket. A guy came behind me, seen my phone in my pocket as I was walking away from him, and he snatched the phone out my back pocket and ran. That's where I left off at on the previous video. So they drove around, the police found the guy, pretty much beat him up, head was gashed in. I felt pretty bad because I'm like, dang, they beat this man up when they didn't even have to go that route. You know, he could have just gave me my phone back. I wouldn't even call the police. But everybody was like, no, it's good you did because he might do this again. Come to find out, I think he have a history of doing this. But yeah, they had my phone. He was in the back seat talking noise, snapping, going off. I didn't understand what he was saying because he speaks Spanish. And the police was just like trying to get me to verify that it's my phone. So I gave them my passport, showed them everything. I unlocked the phone. I did everything I had to do to get the phone back. They still would not give me my phone back. At this point, you know, they like, the phone is under investigation. We can't give you your phone back. I'm like, even though I showed you that it's me, even though that I showed you my passport, you know, I'm minding my business on the beach, ain't bothering anybody, and this guy just come up and snatch my phone, you know. So basically, the phone is under investigation at that time, and they can't give me the phone back. So the instructions were, you know, you need to come tomorrow morning, bright and early, to get your phone back. Okay. All right, no problem. I'll come in the morning, get my phone back. Even though, you know, my life is in my phone. I can't enjoy the rest of my day or trip because the phone is taken. But I'll come in the morning and get it. So I end up finding a taxi. Kid me not. They, the security guards at the resort found me a taxi. And I think these people all work together, y'all. I think they all work together to get money. They all try to get a percentage of these visitors' money when they do things like this. The guy ordered me a taxi driver, and the taxi driver wanted to charge me $300,000 pesos. So that's literally like 65 or 70 bucks American dollars just to take me 4 miles. I didn't know how much he was going to charge me. That's my fault. I should have asked. I'm thinking that I'm just going 4 miles. This man probably going to charge me about $15. That's fine. When I get there, he's like, 300 pesos, 300,000 pesos. I'm sorry, 3,000 pesos, 3,000 pesos. I'm like, what's 3,000 pesos? So I Google, I'm like, $65? Are you serious? So at this point, I'm like, you're going to have to take me back if I'm going to pay you this much. And even in taking me back, I shouldn't even be giving you this much. That's a whole nother experience. I have to make a whole nother video about that and how they gyp you over there and how they beg for money continuously. So at this point, dumb me, I don't care. You can have the $60. I just want my phone. Because at this point, I realized that my cards are locked. And I need to get my phone to unlock my cards. And for some reason, I brought my laptop, but I could not get into my actual accounts for some reason. I don't know why. And I had to keep changing the password. It still wouldn't let me in. And then it kept sending codes to my phone. And I didn't have my phone. So at this point, I'm like, dang, you know, all I have is probably like $200 on me in pesos. So I'm like, dang, you know, this can get me through the day. But I really, really, really need my phone so I can unlock, you know, my cards so I can use my cards and go to the ATM. Even if they do keep the phone, I need my cards to be unlocked. So I get there. Y'all tell me why these people keep me there from 8:30 in the morning to 3 o'clock p.m. doing nothing. Doing nothing. They don't understand me. I don't understand them. A few people understand me. They trying to tell them what's going on. Oh, we see your phone. We have it here. They using the phone to translate back and forth. I'm telling them, hey, I was told to come here and get my phone. It's right here. Thank you. Can I get it? Can I go? No, you can't go. You need to write a complaint. We need to file a complaint. Okay, file a complaint. Tell me why it's taking them 2-3 hours just to write and type up a complaint. He have to go get help to help him type up the complaint. He keep telling me to explain to him what happened. I don't told him over and over and over. Other people don't told him over and over and over as well that speak English there and speak Spanish. He still wouldn't, they still wouldn't cooperate and give me my phone back. It's under investigation. After 5 hours waiting, you're going to have to come back early in the morning, and I promise you it'll be resolved. And a lot of the reasons I do understand because it was Sunday, so, like anywhere, business is not really handled on the weekend. It's mainly handled on the weekdays. So I had to wait till Monday. So I went there Monday, 8:30 a.m., stayed there for probably 5 hours again, trying to get my phone back. At this point, y'all, I'm just like ready to pack up. I had talked to my mom. She was like, just pack your stuff up and go. Pack your stuff up and leave. I had met these guys from New Orleans. They was in there. They had a situation where a girl was accusing one of their friends for rape, and he never raped her, barely even touched her. She was asking for $15,000 just to clear it up. They ended up settling, giving her $3,000 to shut her mouth and to keep it moving and to get out of the country because he was accused of something he didn't do, and just to bribe him out of money. So that's why I say I believe they all working together, because if the police know this, why would you allow this to happen? Like, why would you allow, this lady bribing him out of money, and she had a lawyer, he had a lawyer. The lawyer had gypped them out of $1,500, just to get him started on the case, and he didn't really do anything, So anyway, back to mine. That's a whole nother video too, I guess. The guys from New Orleans was telling me, get your shit and just go. Get your shit and leave. Get your phone. Get on the next flight out, because this place is crazy. So I'm just, at this moment, I'm like, oh man, I just want my phone, but oh well, I'll get another phone. So right when I'm thinking that, that's when they come and they like, okay, you need to talk to the prosecutor. The prosecutor will be here. He's not here yet. But I'm like, well, all these people that's in and out of the office on my left would say, prosecutor, who are they seeing? Oh, I don't know. Come to find out, I sit there for 5 hours. The prosecutor was there all alone. I got in there. He the only one that speak English. He's like, Mr. Whitfield, sorry this happened to you. I know you've been waiting a long time. I am going to give you your phone back because I wouldn't want nothing like this to happen to me if I was in another country. Sir, just give me my phone. Just give me my phone. Thank you, but give me my phone. That's what I'm thinking in my head at the moment. Like, give me my phone. Like, I wanted to go over there and just yank it. Give me my phone. But at this time, I didn't want no problems. I didn't want no situations or nothing. I just wanted the phone. So I'm like, okay, thank you. It's okay. We like to cater to our tourists. We like to do this for our tourists. We hate when things like this happen. That's why you need to sign this paperwork to prosecute him. Okay, I signed the paperwork. At this point, you can let him go. I just want my phone. I'm in a whole nother country without my phone. So as I signed the paperwork, he gave me back my phone. My whole trip was just gone after that. Like, it's like I had went 2 days without my phone. All I could do on that last day, because I couldn't find I couldn't find an airline out. All the airlines were sold out. So I couldn't find an airline out that day. So I had to literally wait to check out the next day because that was the day I was scheduled to check out anyway. So I end up leaving there, enjoying the rest of my day, finding things to do because I had my phone, taking pictures, videos, just allowing the day to go better than the last 2 days went. Yeah, so that's kind of what happened. It was crazy. You have to be there to see it and live it, because it's like when you don't have your phone in a whole nother country, you know, you have to have Wi-Fi everywhere you go in order to use your phone anyway. Phone cards, you know, the cards in my phone is locked. Like, what do? You know, thank God I had cash on me. And oh, one more quick thing. They did give me my phone while I was there to show them some stuff in my phone. So while I had my phone, I was able to unlock my cards that first day I was at the police station. So I was able to unlock my cards. Yeah. So I put more stories on here in regards to Punta Cana, what some of the other stuff that happened, that, you know, I don't have time to tell. So, yeah, you go to Punta Cana, be very careful. Research. Don't get in trouble with the police. You know, go as a group. I went solo. Find you somebody else to go with you. If you go by yourself, please, you know, do your research, study. But I'm alive. I'm here. That's material stuff. I'll be all right. See you later.
Here's how I lost thousands of dollars out of my safe in an all-inclusive resort in the Dominican. Sorry, I started that in the Chick-fil-A line, but it was way too fast. So we go to the Dominican Republic for my friend's wedding at this all-inclusive resort. And the day one that we get there, we throw our stuff in the safe with the notion that everything that is in the safe will be covered should anything happen. We come with very little. My wife comes with some cash and her ID, and I came with my debit card and my ID, and that's it in our wallets. That's it in the safe, locked with my own passcode. Fast forward to wedding day. It is a gorgeous day. We get really lucky. The wedding was a ton of fun, but the next day after the wedding, they scheduled something called the Catamaran Cruise, which is essentially go out on the water, drink, and celebrate the wedding that just happened. During this time, we just put on our bathing suits, leave everything in the hotel locked, and keep the room locked, and go out and enjoy our trip. We get back from that trip, and that's where things go a little crazy. When we got back, I didn't even check the safe because we've only opened it one time, so why would I need to worry? All we did the one time, which was the day before, we took out $10 to get sunglasses for my wife on the beach in that morning. Then we closed it and I locked it again with the same passcode I had used previously. When we're back from that spot, I end up changing, going back down to get some dinner with some friends. And while we're down there, I get a text on my phone from my bank saying you have overdrafted $900 on my business account, which is the account I run all this stuff through. Obviously, as soon as I get that text, I freak out and immediately assume, first I type no, that wasn't me, and immediately assume that I probably had my information stolen while either at the airport, because nowadays you can just kind of walk by somebody's wallet and scan something and steal their information. So I assumed I just got unlucky either in the airport or off some Wi-Fi or something. But my wife, just being kind of a little bit more, paranoid, and honestly, I'm so happy for her being this way. She walks back to the room saying, no, so I feel off. I need to go back. She ended up going back, and, I was very adamant about, hey, it's not like anyone stole anything out of the safe, so they must have stolen my information before. But she gets back to the room and calls me near tears in a panic. It turns out somebody had unlocked our safe and they just left it very close to close and had just taken my debit card out of my wallet. They ended up leaving the $50 or so, some odd cash in there. And I think it was, over stewing over this the last few days, it was either very intelligent because I would have never thought to open and check my debit card until we ran out of cash, or it was just the sly, smart thing to do, knowing that credit cards probably aren't as easy to steal from as a debit card, which you can use right at the store. Now we loop in security, and this is where things start getting really weird. We have the head of security there and some more people who are checking out the safe and the information around the room, and things start getting really odd, and this is where I start to doubt and question everyone around me at all times from here on out. If you want to hear more of this stuff, I'm going to make a part 2. I don't want these being like 7 minutes long each. Let me know. This is part 2 of our safe getting robbed of $2,000 while in an all-inclusive Dominican resort. I'm telling this story because at this point I have no other option but to believe that the hotel is somehow involved in this scam. If you missed part 1, you can go back and watch it, but the moral of the story is while we were on excursion, I lost my debit card stolen out of the safe from our room. Continuing on the story, the first thing that happened is when my wife noticed that, she ran immediately to the front desk and ping-ponged around with security until we finally met security from our specific building, who then told us to go wait in our room. They met us with a translating woman, a security lead, and then the manager, I believe, or at least some sort of manager. I explained to them the situation. It was as simple as the safe was locked with my debit card in it, and now the safe is open and my debit card is missing. And not only is it missing, but the entirety of the account had been drained. The translator seemed to kind of sympathize with us and understand, at least from what I remember, it seemed like she was. But the other two were almost like laughing at the situation. I saw them like elbowing and knocking each other while we were talking about the story and while she was translating it. And maybe it's just because I'm so frustrated with how this all shook out, but that still just irks me so much. They asked about the last time we had opened the safe, and we had opened the safe the day prior in the morning for my wife to pull out $10 to buy glasses on the beach, sunglasses from a beach vendor. The only time we had ever opened the safe, but we know we opened it then because she did not bring sunglasses, so that's all we needed it for. The super annoying part of the situation is in the safe, they also left the $40 that was there. They kept my credit card in my wallet and only removed my debit card, which is genius because it leaves some plausible deniability, but also it's just, I would have never looked at my debit card ever until we ran out of the cash, and I would have noticed the cash immediately. The only reason I bring up the deniability piece is they kept saying, like, are you sure you didn't lose it before you got here? But the nice and amazing thing about my wife is she's super neurotic about that specific type of stuff. So when we got there, we checked and made sure we had everything locked in the safe. That was checked off and we were set. This whole you must have lost it before you got here shtick is what they stuck to the end, but I'll talk about more of that once we get towards the end of this. And again, I would have never noticed any of this if it weren't for the fact that I got a text about overdrafting my account. There was no stopping me. As soon as I saw that message, I immediately typed no. But the charges were made in a Dominican, it was either a gas station or something locally very close by. They referenced it at the time in the hotel room. I can't remember if they said it was a gas station or like a hardware store or something. But I can't believe they got to that point before I was notified by my bank. After the entire explanation, they said it was going to be a 24-hour investigation, that we would talk to them after 24 hours. After about 30 hours, and it was the day before we were leaving, we ended up messaging them and saying, hey, any update? And then our butler, everyone who goes there gets a butler, messaged us back and said, come to the front desk. We were down by the beach, which is like, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile walk. So we thought, hey, if they're making us leave the beach, obviously there's going to be some sort of news, or at least any sort of news at all. When we got there, there was no news on the situation at all. They were only bringing us up there to talk about when we wanted to leave with the bus tomorrow. We ended up being super aggravated and asking for an update. They brought out a new security assistant who then asked us like the same questions that we were asked the prior day, like literally the same questions. At one point, they were doubting that I maybe had used the card while I was there. So I ended up showing them my debit transactions, allowing them to screenshot my debit transactions, and it showed that I haven't used my debit card for a month prior to even coming to the Dominican Republic. After that, she hit us with I just wanted to let you all know. So both of us were like, okay, maybe there's some sort of update. That we're very sorry is all she said. So we both were just like, my wife is near tears at this point. We both just like get up, just walk out. We're like, I can't even believe that this is what's going on right now. And then she said something along the lines of, it is going to be 48 hours for the investigation. At this point, it's well past 48 hours. It's the next morning when we are about to leave. We bring our stuff to the front. They ask us to leave our stuff in our room and that they would handle it for us. But, at this point, we just take everything with us, walk to the front desk and say, hey, we need an update from somebody. They sit us down with an assistant director or manager, and we begin discussions with her. At this point, the bus is on its way to take us and bring us to the airport. So it is very high strung and we're both really tense and just worried about the whole situation. At this point, she mentions that the investigation is going to take 72 hours. They brought some safe specialists in, one at the time when we were up there with the 3 people, and then additionally, a time in between us and the second call up, they brought a safe person up to our room to investigate who had opened the safe. Anyway, when I'm talking to this lady, she says to me that no one has opened the safe, including us, on our time there. And I say to her, and she also says that since no one has opened the safe, there is no conclusive evidence that it had ever been broken into or stolen. And I say, well, if it doesn't have any indication that I've opened the safe, how is that realistic data? Because I very clearly opened the safe. In almost a deflection, and I wasn't trying to be aggressive, she says, well, the investigation is going to take 72 hours, but odds are your card information was just stolen online and used in the DR close by. In order to battle that, I said, okay, I have very few time before my bus gets here. How about you sit with me and I call my bank and I can see if they can give me a realistic usage of where the card was used and how it was used. Not knocking her, but I really don't think she thought I would say that. We get on the phone with my bank. I expressed to them that I have maybe 5 minutes. The team was absolutely incredible. I gave them all my information up front. They didn't ask me any questions after I did that. And they confirmed in front of the bank on speaker and everyone else that walked over that was doubting me, saying the card was used physically while I was not physically able to use it on the excursion. On my way back from the excursion, the card had been taken and then used physically at this location that was anywhere from an hour away from our resort. To be honest, I thought that was going to put a nail in the coffin as in terms of proof of how it couldn't have been us or that it was stolen online because it was proven by my bank that it wasn't. But then they chill out, they relax and say, well, the investigation is still ongoing and it'll be likely 72 hours. Our bus shows up and we have to leave. Obviously, as soon as it hits like 4 hours, we email them asking if there's any update. But they got a push that they needed to meet with some security officials. I have to look at my wife's email. Something along the lines of they had to confirm stuff with security leads and stuff before they could give us an answer. So a few days after that, my wife calls them and says something along the lines of, hey, I need an update. They say they're going to transfer us. They transfer us one time and then hang up on us. She calls a second time, calls them, gets to the first transfer, gets hung up on. The third time she calls them, gets one person and then a second person and then hung up on. This happens consistently 9 times on 9 separate calls. And after the 9th call, she sends an email or gets an email essentially saying, sorry, our phone had been disconnected, or says something along the lines of it was on your end, that you hung up. And she was like, this is outrageous at this point. Cherry on top, they were all collect international calls. We had to pay like $200 just for those 9 attempts. After that disclaimer about us breaking up, they called us and said there had no proof of foul play and that nothing was going to happen with our case. That's the entire story. I needed to say it. I'm just shook about this entire situation. I have no idea if it's deep, if it's rooted, if there's some sort of conspiracy, if there's somebody, they're doing something as a hotel, or if it's just one bad apple that's perfected how to do this without any problems. But I'll tell you what, I could not be more disappointed with the majestic Mirage in the Dominican Republic.
All right, y'all, so I'm coming to y'all with the tea now, This is a story time about what happened to me and my friends when we went to the Dominican Republic. So I just want to preface this by saying this is not me in any way, shape, or form bashing the DR or the people of the DR. We still had a great time, a great trip. This is literally just me telling our story. This is what happened to us. And this is me just raising awareness and just telling Black people to be cautious whenever y'all traveling over there. Not just over there, but just everywhere, because y'all know how that go. Especially since I see a lot of Jamaicans traveling to DR now with that new route with Airjet. I see a lot more Jamaicans going over there. So this is really just for story time and awareness purposes. No way bashing the country, and I'm not telling anybody not to go. We had a great time. I would go back, not anytime soon, but I would go back. All right, so this would have been our 3rd day there. Prior to this, we had a taxi driver that would pick us up and drop us off where we wanted to go and all that. But this day we decided that we wanted to have a more local experience. Like, we wanted to just walk around, wander, and just look at stuff, just, interact with the people and just have a local experience, which I feel like is a very natural thing for people visiting a new place. And I keep hearing, oh, DR is racist, DR is racist. But in all honesty, aside from this situation, everybody was super, super sweet to us. Random people on the street, our taxi drivers, our waiters when we went to the restaurant. Like, literally everybody was so nice to us. Like, I don't know. So anyways, into the story. So we were walking for about 45 minutes. We'd have been about like a 5 or 6 minute drive from our Airbnb. And there was a car that was following us. And we thought it was weird. At first I thought it was a taxi, but it never wound the windows down, and it never, it never did anything taxi-like. So we thought it was weird, and my friend did say, she was like, maybe we should just turn back. But we was like, let's just keep walking. Boom, we kept walking. We turned onto another street, and then this guy was on the other side, this opposite side of the street from us, and he was like pointing and laughing. And we didn't know what he was pointing and laughing about, but lo and behold, this truck, like literally a truck, that immigration truck with like 3 people in the back, like 3 people that they've collected, and then like a van, and the van was like full of immigration officers. Like it was like 2 inside the van, and then on the back of the van, the long piece of the van, it was at least like 20 of them. And then it was like some other little random cars with immigration officers in there, like maybe 2 or 3 other little cars. And it's about to end, so y'all just go to part 2. All right, so this is part 2 to the DR story time. So yeah, like I said, all them immigration people pull up on us. They immediately back us into a wall. Like, all 5 of us were against the wall, and they just like surrounded us. And they start asking for ID, which is fine. We all have our IDs on us. So we pull out our IDs, show them the IDs, and they're like, oh, we can't take your IDs. We need y'all passports. So we were like, okay, bet. We do have our passports back at our Airbnb. Because let's be for real, who is walking around with their passports on them on vacation? If my purse gets lost or stolen, my passport gets stolen with it? That's crazy. So pretty much they was like, oh, y'all gonna have to send for it. We can't let y'all go. And we're like, how are we gonna send for it? We're tourists. We don't live here. We don't know anybody here. How are we going to send? Who are we going to send for it? By the way, all of this conversation is happening through the translator on my phone. I'm typing to them. They're typing back to me because they speak Spanish. Habla inglés. So, yeah. So anyways, after just a couple minutes of just pondering and back and forth thing, they were like, oh, y'all don't have to send for it, blah, 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 whatever. And then they start putting us on the truck. And we're like, no, now I'm freaking out because I'm not going to hold y'all. I'm freaking out because I'm like, so boom, we get on the truck and I'm just not going down like that though. My guy friend's like, oh, stay calm, everything's gonna be fine. But you can't tell me that. I ain't never been in no legal trouble. I ain't never been in nobody police car, police truck, immigration, nothing. I ain't never been in no problems. You can't tell me to stay calm in a situation like this, okay? So I get up and through the back of the truck, like through behind bars, I'm translating to a whole different guy than that I was talking to before. This is a whole different officer. And so literally I'm repeating the words passport and Airbnb 50 times. I'm like, pasaporte, Airbnb, over and over and over again. Because I'm like, please just take us to the Airbnb and y'all have the truck. Just take us to the Airbnb. It's like 5 minutes away. We can literally show y'all the passports. So one of my friends, he comes while we're translating. And so the guy is translating to me. He was like, we can take you to the Airbnb, but it's going to cost you. And my friend's like, no money. I'm sorry, y'all. I can laugh now. But yeah, pretty much he's like, yeah, no money. And the guy's like, pretty much go sit down. Like, I'm not talking to you. But my friends was like, no, we're not giving them no money because we came in here legally and we don't have to pay them for nothing, blah, blah, blah. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I was willing to pay anything for my freedom. I ain't gonna hold y'all. So anyways, he says he'll take us back to the Airbnb, but it's gonna cost us. And then when my friend sits back down, he says to me, you have to be discreet. So me now, I'm excited because I'm like, okay, bet we gonna go to this Airbnb. He's gonna see that we came here legally and we can go about our business. Go to part 3. All right, so this is part 3 to the DR story time. So boom, they drop us back to our Airbnb and they literally only let me out of the truck. So it's just me and the guy that I was translating to, the second guy. So our Airbnb was set up like it had like a gate that could only open if you have the little button. And as soon as you walk through the gate, it closes back like 2 seconds later. And our door is like right there. So like I said, me and this guy alone go in there. And I'm petrified because I'm like, I don't know what he's going to do. He could R-word me, you know what I'm saying? But this was just a chance I was willing to take for me and my friends to go about our business. I did not care at this point. Also, keep in mind, y'all, remember he says it's going to cost y'all. I didn't have any cash on me. I only have my card. I had literally spent all my cash the night before, and that's what I was trying to do that day. Go and draw more cash. And I went in there on purpose without cash, because I mean, it would have been nothing for my friends to just give me the cash and I'll just PayPal them back the money or whatever. But I purposely went in there without cash because I said, okay, once he sees the passports and everything, they're gonna have to leave us alone. Ciao. Was I wrong? Anyways, so we get in the Airbnb. He stands at the doorway the entire time, but I was like bouncing back and forth between the rooms so that I could gather up all the passports. Boom, I gather up all the passports, and so he's like, so now I'm like, yeah, big dog, I don't got no cash on me, I only have my card. Y'all, this man looked at me like he would have literally me on spot, like right then and there. So he starts saying like, oh, lo siento, I can't help you, we're gonna need money or I can't help you. So I was like, but you're literally looking at our passports right now, like we came in here legally, like what do you mean you can't help us? Like, so now I'm like, what? I'm not sure what he's willing to do. Like at this point, I'm like, I don't know what he's willing to do. So he's like, okay, which one of your friends have cash? So I pull my friend Brianna's passport and I was like, she has cash on her. So he types back to me on the translator. He says, okay, I'm going to pretend like we didn't find her passport and I'll bring the others out there. And the way it translated, I was kind of confused because, like, you know, when it translates, the grammar is messed up. So at first I was kind of confused, like, why would he pretend like he didn't have her passport? So I went out there with him. And pretty much he tells them to let her off the truck to help me find her passport. So this is when I realized that when he said be discreet, he meant among his peers. He was the one that was corrupt. Go to part 4. All right, so this is part 4 to the DR story time. So he lets Brianna off of the truck so she can help me find her passport, which is on the Airbnb table where he left it. So now it's just me, him, and Brianna in the Airbnb. And we're pretty much like back and forth with him for a minute. She's asking him like, why do we need to pay you? We've already showed you the passports. We showed you that we're legal. And so just after a minute of back and forth, I was just like, let's just give him something because I'm ready to be done with this. So she pulls out a 20. This man gonna say, no, I want $100. Now we're floored because now we're like, okay, no, we're not giving you $100. And don't get me wrong, y'all, $100 is nothing for our freedom. But it was just the fact that he was requesting $100 after putting us through all this, after we've given you the passport, showing and proving that we're legal. Like, you're still like, I don't know, like, it's just getting irritating at this point. So yeah, we were very, very frustrated, but we were also scared. So Brianna pulls out $25 more and she's like, $45, that's all we got. And he's still like, no, I want $100. Same time he's saying that, we can hear our other 3 friends yelling, oh, open the gate, open the gate. So all 3 of us go outside, and his face, he's shocked. You can tell he did not expect them to get off the truck that quickly. And like me and Brianna were kind of confused, but I think that's kind of when we realized like, oh, like it's just him. Like his peers do not know that he's doing this. So we let our friends in, and he starts panicking. He's like, okay, $45 is okay. $45 is okay. Like he literally starts panicking. Because mind you, he said, keep it discreet. So we slip him the $45, and they just take a picture of all of us with our passports, and they go about their business. And yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And in all honesty, $45 is really the least. Like, it really could have been way worse. We were honestly just trying to make sure that they didn't go in with all our money. Like I said, I really tried to go in there with $0 so that they could leave us alone. But clearly, he needed to leave with something. But yeah, y'all, just keep in mind that corruption is everywhere. Like, literally, in most countries, most people of authority have some form of corruption going on. They can be bribed. So, just keep in mind, stuff like this happens everywhere. But if you're black and going to DR, just be cautious and walk around with your passport. Just be very cautious. And I've already gotten a lot of, oh, I would have done this, I would have done that. They wouldn't have got $1 out of me. But y'all spend $45 on literally nothing. Y'all spend $45 on foolishness all the time. Clothes, etc., etc. You're telling me you wouldn't spend $45 to make sure you got home safely from a foreign country? Be for real. And it's also super easy to say what you would have done when it didn't happen to you. So when that happened to you, then you can come back and tell me what you did.
I just got back from the Dominican Republic, and you know what? Never again. Let me tell you how my friends got arrested in DR. On the way home, we ride past them, they turn on the lights. I'm in the passenger like, boy, if you don't pull the fuck over. He pulls over in front of the restaurant we've been going to every night. As soon as we stop, the 2 cars block us in so we can't get out. They telling us turn off the car, roll the windows down. My homeboy that's driving, for some reason, starts pretending he doesn't know Spanish. He's Dominican. This dude looks so Dominican. I don't know why he did that. They tell my homeboy, stop fucking playing. You know Spanish. He snap out of that shit and they get even more pissed. But we didn't stop, and then my homeboy's pretending not to know English, so the police is mad as fuck. They ask for IDs and tell us to get the fuck out the car. They tell us, oh, we're going to search the car. If we find anything, y'all all getting arrested. The whole time I'm nervous because I know my homeboy got some weed on him. It's the shittiest little bag of weed you've ever seen. But Dominicans are so conservative, they would have found it. They would have been like, oh, we got Pablo Escobar and the boys, y'all. Anyways, they start going through the truck, and the first thing they find is the fucking souvenir knife I got at the beach. The main cop goes, yep, this is illegal. Y'all all getting arrested. The whole time, they haven't found the weed on my homeboy. They start searching him. He go in his pocket, grab the weed, put it in his hand like, bow, as they searching. Weed in his hand, they tell him to turn around. As he turns around, he puts that shit back in his pocket. They search his back pockets and tell him to turn around, and then they search his hands. In the middle of this all going on, he tells the cop to go fuck his mother. The cop says, my mom's dead, and pulls out the cuffs. They go put my homeboy in the back of the squad car, and they smack the fuck out of him. Remember, we got pulled over in front of the restaurant we've been going to every night. Everybody at the restaurant comes out into the street to defend us. It got to the point where the cops kind of got scared because there was too many people on the sidewalk trying to fight for us. As this is all happening, they arrest my other homeboy. And they tell me, get in the truck, you're gonna follow us to the station. I'm still pretending like I don't know Spanish. I'm letting them tell me over and over again before I even do it. On the way to the police station, the cop car that has my friend stops. The cop turns around and just starts hitting him with the radio. We finally get to the station. My homeboy got a scar on his face from the radio. My two homeboys and the cops are still arguing. I'm still pretending I don't know Spanish. I got Google Translator out. They go, oh yeah, both of y'all getting arrested. You free to go. They put them against the wall and they take their picture. And since everything my homeboy had on was valuable, they let me take it. On my way out, my homeboy dassed me up like, all right, bro, I love you. As soon as he dassed me up, I feel that weed in my hand. I go, all right, bro. In front of all 10 police officers. Long story short, they did a little show trial, let them go the next day. But yeah, never going back.
So I just came back from my trip to Dominican Republic. I actually was in Punta Cana. And here are some things that I noticed while traveling there. There's a big difference between Mexico and Dominican Republic, okay? Majority of the people there speak Spanish. No English, bitch. You would not find nobody that speak English. They either speak Spanish or Creole, because there are some people from Haiti that migrated over to Dominican Republic, so there's a mix of them. They will charge you more. They will charge you more. They will charge you more. If they know you got that money on you, they will charge you. They will try to get every expense out of you. If you don't pay in cash, like directly, then if you use a card, they will add that shit on there. They will charge you more. Every time I looked around, there was a fine man staring at me. Every time I looked around, there was a fine man staring right at me. Ladies, especially black women, they love us there. I did not see not one white person get walked up on. It's not funny. I did not see not one white person get walked up on. They love they black women. When I tell you they love us over there, that was the difference between Mexico. Mexico, like, you get stared at. But if you're black, you get stared at. You're like, yeah, but it's always the older men. Not here, baby. The men here in Dominican Republic, they love they black women. Okay? Their pesos are different, okay? Each country you go to, their pesos are different. Way different. Currency different, everything different. Before you go to Dominican Republic, if you would like to do cash exchange, please go to a Western Union, okay? Go to a Western Union. Order that shit. And then bring it over there. Because the interest rates, high as shit. Do not go to Infinity. Specifically the strip club. They will scam you like they did me. Do not go there. Okay? I had a personal driver, and now honestly, that was the best thing I could ever done. Hit them up on WhatsApp. Hey, can you take me? Be there in 30 minutes. Cool. Round trip, $50. If you have people with you, like, just split that shit. That was literally the best thing I could ever do. Excursions, they're different than Mexico. Way different. The culture there is loud. Very loud. The food there, if you have acid reflux like me, baby, bring some Tums, because the food there is acidic and fatty. I did not stay at a hotel. I stayed at a villa. The villa was $800 and some change for 5 days, 5 nights. Yeah. So if you want, the villas are nice, but be prepared to pay more out of pocket when you get there, because food, liquor, transportation, all of that shit adds up, okay? The country is more lively. Like, everywhere you go, it's always live. People are always there. Everywhere you go, no matter what time of the day it is, it's always live, okay? Dominican men are pretty boys. They are pretty boys. They keep their nails done. Their eyebrows be done. Child. Haircuts, nice. Braided up, swell. Everything about them, like, pretty. Literally. They don't look rough at all. They look like they got shit handed to them their whole entire life. And that's it. That's everything I know. If I have any more, I'll make a part 2, but that's literally it. If you find shit like me, be prepared to get stared back at, though. They might approach you. Hit them with that.
So I wasn't expecting this to blow up at all. So I was looking in the comments, and guess what I got? I got my notes, okay? a few of y'all was asking like some real ass questions. So I wrote them down and I'm finna answer majority of them. And don't nobody come for me. I'm at work and I got to work from home today. And I look peaceful, okay? What about you? Don't come for me. So the first one was I nervous about flying? Bitch, yes. I flew when all of that shit went down with the airplanes. And I was just thinking to myself, bitch, you better pray before and after you get off that plane. I was just so scared, bro. I was scared as fuck. Bitch, hell motherfucking yes to answer that question. Second was the food. I did not say nothing bad about the food. I just said, if you have acid reflux, please bring Tums. That's all I said. Literally. Please bring Tums. Everything was good. Everything was fresh. It was out the sea, literally. So, yeah, no complaints. Oh, also, I heard that majority of the hotels have bad food, but I went to one. I don't remember the name, but it was 50 minutes away. And the food, honestly, the selection wasn't it. They had, like, pizza. So I ate pizza, literally. Okay, next thing is to always ask for a receipt. This is not a question, I know, but I'm throwing this out here. Don't do it. Always ask for a receipt. Be like, hey, can I get a receipt? Or I don't know how to say it in Spanish, but use Google Translate. Receipt? Show them. Always. If you don't have no receipt, 9 times out of 10, they might get you. Okay, next question is, why would I compare Mexico to Dominican Republic? Honestly, I'm comparing it because I literally went to both countries within 1 month. I can do that. I was hella like mind shocked, or I don't know, mind boggled, whatever y'all call it. I don't know. But I'm just throwing it out there because literally I went into both countries within 1 month and everything was different. So I just wanted to give what I noticed. That's what I said. My opinion. I just wanted to throw that out there. So if that answers your question, next topic. And the next time I go to Dominican Republic, I am going to Santo Domingo. So I can give both hints. So yeah, I can't really say too much about it. I heard that food is really good over there. And I know somebody that lives over there and he be showing me everything. So I can't really talk too much about that topic. Somebody was talking about my driver. Honestly, I tagged him in the comments of the previous video. And honestly, when I tell you he helped me out so much, he didn't try to get off on me. None of that. So basically, if you have a group, it's better. But if you're just one person, of course, it's going to cost more. His VIP services. And he can do champagne included if you wanted to. He helped me with all the excursions. He gave me a good price for 3 excursions. I tell you, like, I'm not going to even tell you how much I'm saying. I'm not going to even tell you. I'm not going to tell you. But, yeah. So, everything he helped me with, it was literally top tier. He showed me everything. He told me what to do. He told me what not to do. He told me which boats to go on. He told me which boats not to go on. Literally. He was cool. Last but not least, if you are a picky eater, honestly, why are you even traveling out the country? But not to put y'all on the spot, there was not that many fast food restaurants over there. It was only Taco Bell, KFC, Subway, and Wendy's. That's literally all I saw. Everything else was like pizza or their culture food. So if you're a picky eater, please just pack your lunch. Pack you some snacks in your thing, okay? So that's it. Bye.
Hey y'all, what's going on? I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, and quite frankly, I've been mourning the end of House of the Dragon. But I am looking forward to Snow. I think a lot of characters are going to reprise their roles. We'll talk about that later. I want to talk about something really quickly. And this is mostly going to cover vacation etiquette. So the reason I've been away is because my boyfriend and I went to the Dominican Republic, and we've been there a few times. We've even frequented this particular resort a few times, right? And obviously we go back because we love it. It's amazing. I've always had a good time. And granted, it's all inclusive. And listen, you should automatically know that with any all-inclusive resort, you get what you pay for, okay? Like, you're not going to be getting 5-star meals from Michelin chefs, right? You're not going to get the top shelf liquor unless you pay an extra cost or you're a part of, like, some special club. It is what it is, right? Like, you're literally just going to get the fuck out of your normal day-to-day. Like, I was just happy to be there, to be honest. Like, I could give two shits about the other stuff. Anyway, I digress. So on the way back, we had booked a ride, right? And we're sharing this ride. It's like a bus with other people to take us back to the airport, right? So we're sharing the bus with other Americans. And, you know, they're diverse in their background. We were the only Hispanics, though. Okay? African American and white American were on this bus, okay? These were vacationers. Now, the bus driver was Dominican, obviously, right? Makes sense. Do you know these people? And they were older, granted, but they were just trashing this country. They were saying that the people were scammers, the food is trash, they weren't getting bang for their buck, like that they'll never return. And I'm just sitting there mortified because I'm like, oh my God, like what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, I literally had secondhand embarrassment for these people. And the driver, he's quiet, you know, but he's being super nice. He knows how to, he understands English, okay? He can speak it. And I remember before getting off the bus, I said, mira, disculpa, like, and I told him in Spanish, I'm sorry, like, on behalf of all Americans, I apologize. Like, we're not all like this. And he basically was like, oh, don't worry about it. I've heard worse. And I'm like, really? That's what y'all doing? Y'all going to other countries and you're trashing the people and the culture when they welcome you? The fuck is wrong with you? And when I say you, I don't mean you. I mean, like, what is wrong with you? Don't do that. Don't do that.